In this question in particular, we are interested in finding out what is the trade-in value for the current machine. Let's read the question and we'll go over the answer for this question. Purchasing a new packaging machine costs $300,000 and the salvage value after 7 years would be $114,000. There is an annual maintenance and operational cost for $10,000 per year. However, the current machine, the in-place machine, we have to pay an annual maintenance and operations cost of $32,000 per year and an estimated value of $40,000 after 5 years from now. Now the question is, if the interest rate is 10% per year, find the trade-in value for the current machine. And this could be find out what would be the market value for this current machine. Either way would work. So in order to find the trade-in value, what we need to do, we need to find out what would be the annual worth for the Defender and make that equal to the annual worth of the Challenger. Starting with this table right here, so let me move this up here. So this is the information basically. I did summarize the information on this table from year 0 to 7. On year 0 we have $300,000 as the initial cost, and then $10,000 maintenance and operational costs from year 1 to 7. Also in year 7, we don't want to forget that we will be collecting a $114,000 in salvage value. And on the other side, we don't know what's the initial cost, what would be the current cost, the market value, or the trade-in value. But we know that we have to pay $32,000 on year 1 all the way to year 5. Also, we know that on year 5, we will be getting a $40,000 as a salvage value. Going back to the question, to find out what would be the trade-in value, we have to make the annual worth of the Defender equal the annual worth of the Challenger. Okay, let's start with the Challenger because we have all the information, starting with the initial cost, and we need to find out what would be the annual worth for the Challenger by using the PMT function. PMT, 10%, 7 years, and E5, which is the initial cost for this Challenger. The salvage value, we do the same thing. We use the salvage value to find out what would be the equivalent of the salvage value over the years. PMT, 10%, 7 years, and the salvage value is $114,000. And this is, as you know, the salvage value is in the future. It's happening in the future, so we don't put anything in the PV parameter. We put the FV in the parameter. Maintenance and operational cost is $10,000. The total annual worth, adding these together to find what would be the total annual worth for the Challenger, that would be $59,605. On the other side, the in-place Defender, we need to also do the same process, but however, we are missing the initial cost or the market value on year 0. So we'll talk about this in just a little bit. Let's do the calculation for the salvage value exactly as we did for the Challenger. So we use the PMT function, 10%, 5 years, because this will last for 5 years. We don't have anything for the PV. The salvage value is $40,000, so that would be a $40,000. And maintenance and operational cost is $32,000 over the 5 years. So that would be, it's given, no need for any parameters or functions to calculate or transfer or transform from one format to another. Here, for the annual worth factor, we need to make the annual worth equivalent to annual worth for the challenger, the annual worth for the defender equal to the annual worth of the challenger, but we don't know exactly what would be the market value, the trade-on value. But we still need to convert this from present value into the annual worth, and therefore we have to consider the parameter using the interest rate tables. And instead of using the interest rate table, what you could do, you could use the PMT function for 10%, 5 years, and we considered the PV value, the present value is $1, and that would give you an interest a factor for converting the initial cost to annual worth is to be 0.2638. Again, this is just a factor to convert the initial cost to annual worth. Okay, now we have set up these tables. We know what exactly we're looking for. Now let's make the annual worth of the defender equal the annual worth of the challenger. The annual worth of the defender would be the initial cost minus these two numbers, the summation of these two numbers, or you could say minus the maintenance operational cost of 32,000 plus the salvage value. You could do this, or you could just add them together and find out what would be the net value for these. And I did calculate the net value for these out of the salvage value and the maintenance and operational cost to be $25,448. Okay, so now the annual worth of the defender again is minus X, because this is the initial cost, times the factor 0.2638 equal to the 59,000, which this number that we got from doing the annual worth for the challenger. Now we have an equation with one variable, which is X. Let's solve the equation for X. What you need to do, add the 0.25,000, add the 25,000 on both sides of the equation to get rid of this one. So adding the 25,000 will to the negative 59,000 would give you a negative 34,000. Now, in order to get rid of this 0.2638, you divide both sides of the equation by negative 0.26238, and that would give you a value of $129,481 as the trade-in value for the defender. Just a few things to highlight. In here, when I use the PMT function, I reversed the function, because why I did this? Because this is a cost, and this should be the final result of this calculation should be a negative. So if I remove the negative sign from here, that would give you a positive number, which is wrong. Basically, we have an initial cost, and this initial cost should be in a negative. And the same thing for the market value, the salvage value here should be a positive. The end result of this calculation should be a positive. And once you see the negative for a salvage value, cannot be a negative for a salvage value. It should be positive. Therefore, you have to reverse the function and add them together to find what would be the total annual worth. And the same thing we do for the defender, except that we don't know what would be the market value, the initial cost on year 0. Therefore, we have to find the parameter for that will convert the annual worth, that will convert the initial cost to annual worth by putting the PV as a $1, and then you make the annual worth for the defender equal the annual worth for the challenger, solve the equation for X, and you will get the value of 129,481, and that would be the answer for this question. Thank you, and please let me know if you have any question or any comment. Thank you.